Well, six-time Olympic medalist Charlotte DuJardin's career is in tatters tonight after she was forced to withdraw from Paris 2024 and handed a provisional 6-month ban after a video of her whipping a horse during a lesson 4 years ago emerged.
When you watch this back,
So, the sport's governing body was sent that video on Monday when a Dutch lawyer raised a grievance on behalf of his anonymous client, and since then, DuJardin's career has been in freefall. She's also now expected to lose out on a damehood and has been dumped by numerous sponsors. But is the punishment too harsh? Let me know your thoughts. Go to gbnews.com/yoursay. Tweet me at gbnews. While you're there, go and vote in our poll. But first, going head-to-head on this are the former British Army officer and Animal Rising spokesperson, Alistair Stewart, and the royal commentator, Lady Colin Campbell. Both of you, thank you very, very much. Lady C, I'll start with you on this. That clip does look quite shocking to a lot of people. Where do you stand on whether or not it was right that DuJardin's career and essentially life now is in tatters?
Well, first of all, Patrick, good evening, and may I say, one of my closest friends knows her very well. Charlotte DuJardin used to ride her ponies when she was 7 years old, when Charlotte was 7 years old. This friend of mine is one of the leading dressage judges in the world. She says that Charlotte, even as a little girl, was absolutely wonderful with horses. And if you listen to that clip, she is actually complaining about what she is doing. She was obviously made to do it for most likely a very good reason and did not enjoy doing it. And I think it is an absolute disgrace that, first of all, we as a country should lose our chance to have somebody possibly bring home a gold medal for us because of what is basically evidently, the friend of mine said she thinks that the green-eyed monster is responsible for this.
Okay.
But whatever the reason is, the fact of the matter is, when you are training horses, and she didn't injure the horse.
Okay.
Let's be clear.
I get that. I get that. I'll come back to you, Lady C. I will come back to you. Alistair, I'll bring you in now. So, Animal Rising spokesperson, I assume you have a different view on this. Do you think it's right now that DuJardin has basically lost everything?
Good evening, Patrick. Thank you very much for having me on. I wouldn't say I'm particularly interested in whether or not the punishment for Charlotte DuJardin is an appropriate one. I think I speak for the majority of the British public when I say I was sickened and shocked to watch this footage, where you clearly see DuJardin whipping this horse, causing them, stress and pain and fear, and it's just not right. And I'm very surprised to hear Lady C defending her and defending this kind of activity. And I must say I'm pretty confused by it.
OK, well, Lady C, I mean, I cut you off before, but from what I'm hearing from you, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you seem to think this is part of training a dressage horse, is it?
Well, I mean, I'm surprised that anybody is that surprised. First of all, dressage is a very unnatural thing. Horses are supposed to be running free and wild. I come from a family that was Jamaica's leading racing family for 40 years. I'm very familiar with how horses need to be trained. Yes, they do have to be. You do have to at times inflict pain. There's a difference between inflicting pain and injury. You don't injure a horse. And nobody who is an equestrian of any description would ever try to injure a horse. They love their animals. And also, it's quite clear, listen to it, that she is doing something that she is reluctant to do. But there are most likely very good reasons why she did it. And I'll tell you what one or two of them could be. you know, the person who was riding the horse was most likely the owner of the horse. And if the horse wasn't going to live up to its purpose, they would have lost the horse. They most likely wanted to keep the horse.
Okay.
And often in situations like that, horses are just not put out to the field to graze. They are sold on to the knacker's yard.
They are, yes.
Realities behind this that namby-pamby bleeding hearts don't seem to understand.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I get that that's that side of it. Alistair, I just wonder if there's an element to this which maybe you might latch on, which is if this whole thing is a bit unnatural, i.e. making a horse do dressage, I suppose as far as animal rising are concerned, that suggests that really we shouldn't be doing this thing at all.
That's exactly right, Patrick. If you know, looking at this footage and condemning it makes me a bleeding heart, namby-pamby liberal, then I'm proud to be one. And I'm afraid to say, you know, this is called a head-to-head debate. I think I agree with Lady C in a lot of the things she said. Dressage is unnatural. This is not what horses have naturally evolved to do. And you do have to inflict pain. That is how dressage works. But beyond that even beyond that is how industries for food and clothing and labour, entertainment, experimentation, this is how all of these industries work. They're all exploitative, they all inflict pain and suffering, and it's not good enough. We can do better.
OK, I mean, I suppose, Alistair, I'll just stick with you because I'll give Lady C the final word on this. But, you know, is there an argument, Alistair, to say that actually we're just a little bit soft? You know, people like us maybe who are a bit detached from what life is like, you know, at a stables or at a farm or in the wild, dare I say, where nature is quite brutal. I mean, how do we know that that horse was actually really suffering? I mean, I would not like to be repeatedly, you know, struck like that. Obviously not. But, you know, this is an animal we're talking about, a big animal, and this is a training process. I mean, is it actually that bad? It was 4 years ago. This lady's, a serial winner. At a high level, you would have thought that if she was genuinely really cruel to animals or evil, that something like this might have come out at some point in her career before, Alistair?
Well, Patrick, I mean, when you said you wouldn't like to be whipped like that, I agree with you, and that is the basis of animal rights. It's just treating animals as the sentient beings worthy of more consideration that they in fact are. Horses deserve not to be used as a means to an end. They don't deserve to be bred into existence, bought and sold, broken in, trained, whipped like this. They don't deserve to be hurt. Simple as that.
OK, I mean, I think that is a massive point of difference because Alistair, and you're perfectly entitled to this view, obviously, but, you know, essentially doesn't think that these sports should exist or I don't want to put words in your mouth, Alistair, but really that animals like that should be kept in captivity and all of that stuff. Whereas Lady C, you just think that this lady should keep her job and that she's, what, the victim of some kind of woke animal rights campaign?
First of all, anybody who knows about horses knows that they have very thick skins. You know, they're not human beings. They don't have very thin skins. That's the first thing. The second thing is they wouldn't exist. People don't seem to understand. Farm animals, race horses, dressage horses, they wouldn't exist if the sport didn't exist. They're being bred for a purpose. Without the purpose, they wouldn't exist. Are we seriously suggesting that we should be so loving towards animals that they should never exist? And also, to say that dressage is exploitative, the way, say, children in India being exploited in the clothing industry is just preposterous. I'm sorry. It's a leap too far. It's a horse, and she didn't injure the horse. She clearly didn't enjoy what she was doing. And the alternative could have been that she and the owner were trying to save the horse from the knacker's yard. Let's have a sense of proportion here. You know, nowadays, everybody is very happy to condemn out of context. Let's have things in context.
All right.
And why should her career be destroyed? It's ridiculous.
All right, look, both of you, thank you very, very much. Definitely got both sides of that. So that is a former British Army officer and Animal Rising spokesperson there, Alistair Stewart, and royal commentator Lady Colin Campbell. Thank you. So in a statement, Charlotte DuJardin said, a video has emerged from 4 years ago which shows me making an error of judgment during a coaching session. Understandably, the International Federation for Equestrian Sports is investigating, and I have made the decision to withdraw from all competition, including the Paris Olympics, while this process takes place. What happened was completely out of character and does not reflect how I train my horses or coach my pupils. However, there is no excuse. I'm deeply ashamed and should have set a better example in that moment. I'm sincerely sorry for my actions and devastated that I've let everyone down, including Team GB, fans and sponsors. Quite a mea culpa there, it must be said. So, who do you agree with? That video ended Charlotte DuJardin's Olympic dream. Do you think the punishment was too harsh? Kenneth on X has been in touch. There is a Dutch sex offender who raped a young girl competing at the Olympics, but DuJardin gets banned for whipping a horse. Madness. That is a very good point, I must say, Kenneth. That is a fact. There is a Dutch sex offender who raped a young girl competing at the Olympics, whereas a woman who whipped a horse is not. So there we go. Louise says, not harsh enough as the punishment. And Patrick, great name on X, says the punishment didn't go far enough. Being cruel to an animal for her own gain is disgraceful. Right. 36% of you think the punishment is too harsh. 64% of you say it is not. So you're definitely on the side of the horse there.